In progress.
He was scratching the shit out of
Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate, took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race, people's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate, took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race, people's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
And long overdue. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Heavyweight Bros podcast. As usual, I am your host of 5XL Assassin, the Diabolical Diabetic, your boy, the Big Nasty. And to my right is the High Hello Hitman, the freaking Deacon, Coach Buck. And he needs to be celebrated and congratulated because he just graduated. My man, Uncle Raisin. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm rested, man. I'm rested, well, man. Shoot, I'm about to drop in his mind.
It's been 5 months since we did a pod, so it makes sense.
1-2. But no, man, I'm feeling good, man. That free time make a difference, man. It makes a difference, man.
Boy, howdy.
I can't lie to you. There's been a lot of stuff I think we spoke about this before. I just been selectively eliminating things out of my life that, I'm not saying didn't need to be there. It's just like this is an impactful time for me to be at the crib. You know what I mean? So, the other day was a little worrisome because I'm sitting on the couch enjoying the game, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I didn't have nothing to do, and I like the realization of just being able to just chill was a good feeling. So.
People take doing nothing for granted way too much because that's one of my favorite activities.
Yes.
I'm like, oh man, we don't got nothing to do on Friday. I'm like, that sounds great.
Word.
I love when plans get canceled.
Word. Usually I'm doing like AAU, but all those guys that I used to coach are like older guys now. They got their workouts and stuff going on, so didn't do no AAU basketball. I wasn't heartbroken about it. You know what I mean? Like It's good to see those guys like growing up and like managing their lives like on a mature level, even though they still in high school. But it's just like it's almost like planting a seed and then you're watching it grow and it's just like, all right, look at that tree over there.
Look at that tree over there. I'm gonna enjoy these apples later on this summer.
Right. So it's a pretty dope feeling. So I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, congratulations, because I feel like you didn't even take the congratulations the way you were supposed to be congratulated when you got congratulated.
Thank you. My bad.
Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know about you, but I know I've heard a lot about like this long hiatus that we've been on.
Yes.
Like, first of all, I was like, I didn't realize none of y'all cared because I don't never see y'all liking, subscribing, or sharing or commenting. So I didn't know anybody cared that much. But like, I walk into places and people are hostile.
Yeah.
And I was just
I ran into a buddy of yours in the grocery store. Didn't even know. I don't want to say brown fella, but he's like brown skin. He's got glasses. Oh, he told me his name.
Oh, I hate that nigga. No, I was playing. He owe me money, yo. Like, you should have stopped him.
He was just like,
I'm looking for you, Marcus.
He's like, he's over by like the produce section, and he's just like smiling. I'm just like, hi. He's like, nah, from the pod with Joel. I'm like, oh, you're an avid watcher. He's like, yeah, I really enjoy the pod. I was like, well, I appreciate that. I'll tell Joel when I see him, and I completely forgot.
You don't remember what? Like, is he tall? Is he short? Is he fat? Is he skinny? Like, what's going on?
I mean,
is he a heavyweight?
He's shorter than me.
Okay.
He's not a heavyweight, bro, but he's heavy.
Okay.
I feel like his name sounds like it could be Spanish, but it's not.
Oh, is it Juancito? I'm just kidding. I don't hang out with them Ruckins.
Yeah, okay. They all in your family. You don't got to hang out with them.
I'll be hanging out with family.
But no, I can't. I apologize. Get in the comments and be like, it was me. We know it was you.
He's like, damn, man. Like, you don't remember I was in your wedding.
But yeah, it was pretty dope. You know what I mean? Because we just randomly in the grocery stores. I mean, your wifey was just like, hey, I enjoyed the pod. So that was pretty dope.
You felt like Joe Rogan that day. Or Joe Budden.
I guess. And then my dad's hitting me up all the time, like, where's the heavyweight bros? I'm like, don't worry. We got you.
At least your father hits you up.
We got you.
But I know it's been a long time, and I know we have a lot of stuff to get to. Sadly, this is going to be a short pod, anyways, because like we're literally strictly only doing Insomnia Hour today.
Yep.
Because we do have a lot of stuff to get to. We have finales that we completely missed out on. Like Snowfall hasn't been on the air for like a month, and we never got to talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
So like, I mean, I don't know how fast you want to go through this. Like, if you want to just go through shows that you started watching during this time frame that you're not watching anymore, like it's not worth the time. You want to do those real quick?
We'll see how it goes. First things first.
I pop up freaks all the honeys.
Shout out to the late great Jerry Springer. Jerry. I don't want to like tarnish his legacy or nothing, but there was a video that was just released about him like giving his.
How's that tarnishing? That was like the illest thing I ever seen in my life.
It was pretty.
I was like, go ahead, Jerry.
I mean, different people feel different ways about it. You know what I mean? I thought it was a dope situation.
I never get upset about seeing black people get money. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So
over white people.
First of all, R.I.P. the legend. I'm pretty sure like we've all had moments where we was either sitting with family or just kicking it and you watching.
You was homesick and there was nothing on TV. You ain't got no cable.
You watching Jerry Springer. I remember when the Wayans brothers was on Jerry Springer. Right. So it's so much.
I remember when the Klan got beat up.
Right.
That was what the
right. Was. I mean, I remember when Jerry Springer was like a real show before it became that show. You know what I mean? It was just like, so it was a lot going on. But yeah, recently he had a video where like it was like his last will and testament, and he did a video recording of how he was going to divvy out his estate, and that's when people found out that Jerry Springer had two black babies that nobody knew about. And he basically gave the majority of his estate.
He gave them all. He gave it all to them.
Except for the house.
Yeah, that's all.
He told his two white daughters, he's like, you should have made millions by now. I told you to go out and make your millions. So I'm going to leave you out of the house. You can keep it. You can sell it and split the money. But everything else is going to these children. And I was just like, yo, these kids must have disrespected him at some point in life. Like, something must have happened.
I know if that video would have played in a Jerry Springer crowd, they would have lost it.
Yes.
Like, it was
yes.
Because when I was watching it at home, I was like, man, this is kind of long, but for some reason it's kind of interesting. And when it got to the end, I said,
Listen, I was like, wow. Wow. I was like, it definitely was an episode of Jerry Springer, though. But, I mean, in fashion, that's how he went out. I mean...
Wow, what's the video that you watch where it's like, it's another racially, what's it called?
Oh, racially satisfying moment.
It was very satisfying.
Hey, listen,
them
man.
white tears, they give me life.
Yeah, but
let's get to these shows, bro.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jerry.
R.I.P.
You
Jerry.
know what I'm saying? You held it down for us for quite some time.
Yes.
I had a chest full of Vicks and a stomach full of NyQuil watching midget prostitutes. So I appreciate it.
And some ginger ale. You gotta have that ginger ale.
We couldn't afford some.
Yeah, we'll get into let's go with the Mando.
Okay.
I mean, unless you wanted to go in a particular order. You know what? Let's get the junk out the way first. How about
That's literally what I said to start this.
My bad. I'm sorry. So let's start with the junk that you introduced us to, and that's the Yellowjackets.
I tried to watch an episode before I got here.
Okay.
It has been a rough season to try to get through, bro.
I think I watched the first 3 episodes and said, I'm officially all
I
set.
was just like, I can't be that far back. I was on the 4th episode.
Whatever episode where they ate homegirl's face, I was just like, I'm done.
That's all I really wanted, right? Was to
done.
just know, like, yeah, you guys can eat each other, right?
I'm done.
Because we don't care about the future stuff at all, bro.
At
like,
all.
none of that is interesting.
At all.
And it's like, I don't understand, like, this whole 5 seasons thing. Like, how are they going to get 5 seasons out of this?
I don't know.
It's just like, it's been a tough watch, bro. Like, it's been bad.
I told you, I was like, let me know if I should and if I shouldn't. And all you do was giving me a reason to not go back to it, because that joint is terrible. For y'all who haven't seen Yellowjackets, it's a...
we talked about it. We taled about
it's a soccer team of girls. Their plane crashes somewhere. They're there for like years. One girl has a baby, another girl dies. They get saved, get back to civilization. So like the show is like a parallel universe of how they had to live when they were stranded, and now them back in regular. It's
the thing is, like, season 1 was very interesting. Like, I don't know what it is about season 2 that it's just like it's like at a crawl.
It's not a good show.
But
it's not a good show.
Did it get cut from the team, or is it just on the bench right now?
No, that joint is cut. That I changed the name of Yellowjackets to Dylan Brooks. Wow. Get up out of here.
I can't wait till we have an honest Dylan Brooks conversation, because I don't think he's that bad. But go ahead. You can go off.
All right. From there, we're going to go to Lucky Hank, because I know you haven't watched it yet.
I never intended to either. I don't even know I still don't really know what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm about done watching it as well. It's
So he's in the reserves.
Yeah,
like you on the team,
yeah,
but you ain't playing.
I mean, I think I literally just watched it because he was in it.
Who's in it?
The guy from Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk?
Yes.
Like Saul himself?
Yeah, he's the main character.
Okay.
He does keep the show alive, but like it's just not an interesting storyline to keep me like.
A lot of the stuff that's on this list is gonna get ready to end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you gonna pick it back up like when there's nothing else to watch, or is it just done?
That's why I watched it, because nothing else was on. So if I find myself at a crossroads where the whole season 2 is a wrap and there's nothing to watch, I may do it just to burn up some time, but I just can't see it. Mm-hmm. And it has people in it like, I can't remember his name, but the tall black dude from Reno 911.
Oh, I know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name either. But
Yep. Then you have the Hispanic gentleman who was in The Office.
The Hispanic gentleman, Oscar?
Yep.
Okay.
Oscar.
Did you know that the black guy from Reno 911 is Stinkmeaner from Boondocks?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that until I seen the video of him and Ruckus.
Yes, I did.
Like doing the
And
thing.
you know
I was like,
who
that's
does Ruckus,
what,
right?
Yeah, the brother from Undercover Brother.
Yep.
And I was like, I had no idea.
Oh yeah. They got a classic crew there, man. A lot of people don't understand. But yeah, so I mean, Lucky Hank. I mean, you could say he's a reserve. Or he's that dude like when you make the Olympic team, like you on the Olympic team and you at practices, but when it's time for Olympic, there you go. When it's time for Olympic play, you're not out there. No, you're not even on the roster. You're just at the facility.
Oh, you in the practice squad?
Yeah, you're on the practice squad.
Gotcha.
So when we not balling and it's not USA ball happening right now, you can come get some run.
You're DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that. Shots fired.
I'll take him in Detroit.
Hey, next up we have. I'll bring this one up because I know you don't watch it, but I do, and that's none other than Tariq.
It's not the name of the show.
It is the name of the show.
I just love how black people.
This is the name of the show.
That's Tommy. That's Mary J. That's Tariq, and that's Kanan. That's it.
I'm trying to tell you. Listen, I'm enjoying this season of Tariq.
I thought it was done.
No, it's got one more episode left.
I thought like the episodes had got leaked and stuff like that, and everybody watched them. I thought that was a thing.
Oh, if they did, then let me know where it's leaked at, because
it was leaked on the app. Like people watched it on the app. Like I was on Twitter that day, and people were talking crazy about it. And I talked to my friend about it, and she said she's like, "Oh, I watched it," and she was like, "I think Stars is the one that put it out because it's like it was a 1080p. This was 4K quality.
Stars might have, because 50. Who was it? 50.
Shaq, and Kenya Bears.
Yes, are trying to buy BET.
Yeah.
And if they do, then that's where all the shows are going to go to. But either way, this season was pretty enjoyable. It started off kind of whack because you had to bring in the new villain, and like these teenagers are doing like ghost level Tommy stuff.
I mean, if you want to talk about it, like we're here.
All right, so
just those spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. All right, I mean, pretty sure people are watching Tariq anyway, but yeah. So the majority of the villains that are on the show have gotten killed, except for like Mary J, who's supposed to be like the ultimate villain. I don't know how that happens, but Tariq selling drugs for a new person. Her name is Noma, and she's like, "Get the drugs sold, or I'm killing your family." So, like her, Effie, and the white boy Braden is just going around doing all these like you're not supposed to be able to do this stuff at their they're doing, like I said, they're doing Ghost, Kane, and Tommy level
and they're
stuff.
like freshmen or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's like freshmen, sophomores in college. Like it's wild. But they are still making the stupid like teenager mistakes and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
As one would.
Yeah, but what I do like is like the last few episodes, you've actually seen like some really premiere like acting moments. Like Method Man had a moment on his brother like popped a cop and then popped himself. And Method Man had his moment where I was like, okay, Meth, I see you, baby.
I bring the pain.
Right. And then Tariq's in like the thing that I liked about Tariq is where he was doing like his little schemy stuff, but he didn't know if it was going to work out, but he had to kind of like outsmart people. Now he's almost at the point where he's like, I'm going to do whatever and it's going to work because I'm a genius. And it's like, it's not always going to work out like that, Tariq. But it's like, he's moving different now. And it's like people, homegirl that they thought was dead came back. These last few episodes have been very entertaining for me. So Tariq's coming on strong, and I appreciate that because the show almost fell off the roster too. I was just like, all right, it was almost like.
Where's it at now then? How many episodes does it have? You said it's got one episode left?
I just watched the 9th episode, so I think it's one episode left.
Okay.
I don't know where this leak is because if it is, I would watch the 10 episode tonight and just get it over with. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying Tariq. It's a pretty good show.
Where's it at though? Where's it at on the bench?
It's not the 6th man, but it's a role player. It's a role player.
It's a valuable role player.
Yeah, it's a valuable role player.
It's Caleb Martin right now.
It's Caleb Martin, Emmanuel Quickly. You know what I mean? Even though he ain't showing for my boys, but it's all right. All right.
They look like they kicked him off the team. That's what it felt like.
I don't know what they was doing, man. That boy should have been playing. But I don't want to break my heart right quick. All right. Next up, we have, I don't know if you watched it or not, but we had Beef.
But Beef is finished. So like I didn't know if you wanted to do the shows that are done, like at the end.
I mean, let's just get through it because I feel like we'll have more to say about these other shows than this show.
Okay. But
so
yeah, I did
watch Beef.
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it as well, and I was excited to see that there's going to potentially be a second season.
Yeah.
I was just like, you had, you know me, I'm gonna do other TV shows. So, old boy from The Walking Dead.
What's his name on The Walking Dead? Can't give you his name. This is one of the most important characters on the show.
Glenn.
Yes.
There you go.
Stephen Yeun.
There you go. You had the lady. I want to say her name is Joy. She's a stand-up comedian. You didn't even know that, huh?
She is.
She's the one she did like a stand-up comedy show while she was pregnant. Yes,
I know she is.
I want to say her name is Joy. That might have been the name of the It's not, is it? What is it?
First of all, that's the Asian Angela Bassett. Because people have been doing the comparison that she looks just like Angela Bassett, but she's Asian. But it's Amy Wong.
That's hilarious. I think those are the only people that really stand out in the show that you would recognize from something else, right?
Yeah, like a lot of them were in like Crazy Rich Asians and stuff like that.
Right, they look like new faces and stuff like that. But basically the show is called Beef. It starts with some road rage.
Yeah.
So like the two of them are like in a parking lot and she like cuts him off while he's trying to back out and she just leans on her horn, mad crazy. And he's like, I'm not going through this today. Then he decides, I'm a road rage today. And now they're like following each other through traffic. He almost crashes. She gives him the finger. And then from there on, they do these little subtle things to ruin each other's life that become...
Subtle?
I mean, like it started off with little small things like, I'm going to call your crib or I'm a mess up your business or something like that. I'm gonna pee in your bathroom, like little small stuff, which is not that's crazy. It's not small, but
that's home invasion, bro.
It was juvenile stuff.
Okay, that's a bit.
Then it became delinquent, and then it became egregious, and before you know it, people were dying. It's like, and the thing is, like, the show escalated so quickly, and the beef was just like, this is out of control, and to think. The message I got from the show is like to think all this started because y'all blew y'all horns at each other in a grocery store parking lot. Like, we don't understand how quickly we get to the next level of ruining our lives or someone else's lives because someone ran through a light or like took a parking spot that we were supposed to get, and it escalated because we didn't want to take a moment to step back and analyze what was going on and just say this is really not worth it. And they literally ruined each other's lives.
It's crazy because like I took something very different away from it.
Okay.
Because like I took the thing as like I don't think that we realize like the little things in life that like we put up with and that like how close we actually are to our breaking points and like the smallest things can tip the scales. And then it just became, if you want to be honest, it was kind of fun for both of them too because it was like a distraction and it was just like, like they obviously didn't like it when it came back to them, but it's like the power, the control, the creativity that they got to do. Like they couldn't even really use that like in their real lives. Like everything else in their real lives was like stuck. Right.
You put more effort into being mean and mad than you are into living. Like that's crazy.
I thought the acting was fantastic.
Yes, definitely. They did a great job. Even the supporting actors that like
the cousin names, that was my guy.
I was gonna bring it up, man. The cousin was hilarious to me. The little brother was an idiot.
Man Paul,
but he played a good idiot. It was just like it was dope. I liked the whole episode where it was just them out in the desert, and then they were finally.
That was the finale.
Yeah, that was the finale. And then when they finally like got to like phone reception and everything that was going on, I thought it was a good show, and to see that there was going to be a season 2, this is something that I really plan on watching.
Okay. Yeah, it was definitely a starting 5 for me. something had happened where like when it first came out, I watched like the first 4 episodes in a row, and I think it was super late, and then it was like I didn't get back to it for like almost like a month. It felt like, and then like when I got back to it, I was like, why did I stop watching this? And then it was like I literally banged out the whole rest of the show because I was like, let me not finish this type of deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna keep up
Definitely
with that.
a thumbs up. For
definitely a thumbs up. Next thing we have on here, we'll go with Bel-Air.
Pulled. And I was like, yeah, we go there.
So
There was a lot that happened in the season.
I thought this season was trash. Bro.
Really?
Yes, man. Like I don't know what it is, but it was like I feel like I'm only watching the show because it's Bel-Air. And like you know me, once I start something, I have to see it through unless it gets egregiously terrible like Yellowjackets or The Walking Dead to where I'm just like I can't do this anymore. But it's like I feel like it's not that far off from where I'm just like I'm all set with this show.
Can I do a quick trying to get into your brain and see like where you hopped off of it?
Yes.
I think the first season was very much like we're gonna try and recreate a lot of the moments from Fresh Prince. So like a lot of that was like woven in there, and it was just like, what would this show look like in a modern time? So like even the sometimes when it doesn't hit, when it did hit, like the nostalgia, like all that stuff really fueled the first season, and like the second season is just like, all right, now we got our show though, and it's like now we have to move forward with like this narrative that like we have now. Because like I was kind of like on the opposite fence. Like I didn't think it was trash. I did like the first season more, but I was like the way that things are going now. Because like right now we have like Uncle Phil who looked like he's actively cheating, and like he's doing a lot of. First of all, I don't understand how the business side of Uncle Phil's business works like at all. Like he was just doing wild stuff, and like he was just like, well, we gonna do this, and then I'm gonna make them do this, and then they gonna do this, and I was just like, what is going on here? But like Will's storyline, I thought made a lot of sense, and then like him and Carlton's going back and forth made a lot of sense as well. Carlton's journey was quite crazy this season. Nobody pissed me off more than Hillary. And then Ashley just disappeared and then showed back up with a wild ass jacket in the last episode.
Right.
Like, yo, you were my hero, Carlton. I was like, where have you been? Like, yeah, you training with S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I think the best moment for me was when Phil was like, what more do I have to do for y'all to appreciate me in this house?
He's like, I'm sick and tired of y'all making me feel bad about fucking helping everybody else. You know? I was just like, well, talk your shit, bro.
I was like, go ahead, talk your stuff. But, I mean, other than that, I was all set.
And there's one thing that, like, I view this with multiple people, and every time I'm just like, I can never tell what temperature this room is in this in this house because everybody's outfits are so out of control. Like Uncle Phil's like in a full suit with a turtleneck, but then Will Smith got like a bathing suit on, and then Ashley will have like a scuba suit. I'm like, I don't know what it like. Yo, like everybody's dressed mad wild at any point.
No matter what they're wearing, Jeffrey's wearing the opposite.
Jeffrey's got the most dapper Dan fucking suit of all time. I did like that when what's his name? Doc, the coach dude.
Yeah.
Tried to like press Phil or like he was doing something and he was getting ready to walk out the room and Jeffrey walked around the corner. He was like, I'm gonna watch my tone real quick.
Right.
I love how everybody knows do not press
not
Jeffrey.
to mess with this man in 2 different countries.
That brother's from Top Boy. I don't care what he said. No, I said it like 3 times. I was like, yo, what if we found out that Jeffrey's like, I gotta call my boy Sam Elliott because he's from Gangs of London.
Listen, man. Yeah. Listen, man. If you call anybody, you better call Sully because Sully is gonna get the action cut. Go. Oh, you.
Sully? I thought that was just whatchamacallit. That's Elliot, right? I'm showing Elliot.
No, you're thinking of Gangs of London.
That's what I'm saying.
Sully is from Top Boy.
Oh, I didn't watch Top Boy. We had this conversation.
It hurts every time you say it, though.
I finished Gangs of London, no?
Yeah, I know. I'm just all right. We're gonna go.
That was fire.
So yeah, I mean, Bel-Air, you on notice?
It fell out of your starting 5.
Bel-Air, yes. Bel-Air, you're on notice.
Where was it at though? Where did it end up?
Huh? So role play.
Yo, hold on. Like, are we gonna talk about anything that happened on the show though?
Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want.
Hillary was wilding, bro, right?
Hillary is tripping. Jazz is acting like a sucker.
Was Jazz acting like a sucker? Because he figured it out, like, and tried to own it. She went to that party and saw this man dancing around people. He wasn't even like grinding on shorty. Yeah. They're literally like, he's like, hey.
He wasn't on that Chance the Rapper.
Yeah. No, he wasn't on that. No.
That bitch
You
just
don't
like,
want the problem, want the
like-
problem with me.
That's the camera? Oh shit. It's 2023. Chance, what are you thinking of?
Yeah, she's tripping because like she just wanted to go back with I don't remember what his name was. Andre Iguodala looking mug, the dude, whatever, the football player dude.
Yep.
That's what she wanted to do all along. If that's what you want to do all along, then just do that. Why are you trying to play this game like I'm trying to be a good person, but he's not ready and like this and that or whatever? It's just like, no, you're not ready because you know this is what you want to do. Because like you repeatedly took wild steps and then were mad that he was getting mad because you was taking wild steps. You sound brazy.
I agree.
Your boundaries were trash, bro.
Yeah.
That was like the main thing that I was like truly invested in was that storyline. Like, also like
that's why you mad. That was your storyline right there.
Well,
I liked how Carlton was like on my good side, then on my bad side, and then on my good side.
yeah, when he snuffed old Bullethead from the NAACP.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, Carlton's good again. Why do you have to make him an addict again? Like what? Like what are we doing?
But
like,
I understand why he became an addict again. There's a lot of pressure. Got 7 pounds more pressure. You still not watching P-Valley, are you?
No.
I guarantee you P-Valley's better than Yellowjackets.
I'll watch P-Valley when you watch Top Boy.
I'm trying to watch Succession right now, bro. That's a lot.
Ooh.
See?
Are we pivoting? Are we shifting?
We can go there now. I personally, I had Bel-Air was like my 6th man.
Okay.
It was never one of the shows that I needed to watch, but like I said, I watch it with people. But it would be like, oh, like we skipped the week. I was like, I wasn't too bad. We could just watch 2 episodes in a row. Like I was never pressed about Bel-Air. But it was like every time I watched it, I was like, oh, this ain't bad. But it does have its moments where it's like I can check my phone right now.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? But it's like I think it's a 6 man.
Okay.
You want to pivot?
You want to notice. All right. So next show we'll go over to Succession.
Okay.
Are you caught up?
Not in the slightest. I'm on like the 3rd episode of the 1st season, right? Like, man, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, all right, we can't talk about Succession then.
You can talk about it because, like, by the time I get to it, they talk so goddamn much. I'm never gonna remember what you was talking about, anyways.
All right, so listen, I have to retract my previous statement, okay? Because I remember when you was asking me, like, who needs to take over the company. Yeah, remember I told you the little brother?
Yeah.
Because he's got this savage little swag to him. Yeah, that joint was a front. That boy folded.
Oh, he pulled a James Harden.
He continues to keep folding.
Or Jason Tatum.
He's Jason Tatum. Moment of silence. But yeah, man, I listen. I don't know, man. It might be between the sister and the second oldest brother, Kendall, man, because they look like they about to go at each other. I'm trying to say stuff without saying stuff. But
to me, like it's fine. Like we could go full spoilers or whatever.
You sure?
The way that this show, first of all, I already know like by the time I get to the show, or it's gonna be finished. It's gonna be all the way done.
Yeah.
So like there are stuff that I already know happens, but it's like I'm just down with the journey.
Okay.
Like I feel like the spoilers don't bother me.
Okay, so spoilers are coming. So
do you want to tell people where it's at in your lineup first before you start getting
starting
spoilers?
5.
Okay.
Starting 5. So it's season 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple episodes are centered around the death of their father.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, shaking and moving, running the business, doing everything he usually does. They're like on a flight somewhere, and he like dies on the flight. And there's like these crazy calls of like, what's happening? What's going on? Tell us what's happening. And by the time the episode's over, they're just like, yeah, he didn't make it. So like all the episodes, after that is like, okay, Succession. Who's going to take over? Who are we going to name in charge? And like the siblings are going at each other's necks about how that's going to happen. And then they're trying to, once they finally make that decision, all right, how are we going to save and maintain the company? While trying to plan this funeral, all while trying to keep people hopeful that we could run the business like the same type of dog atmosphere that our dad had without not being the same type of jerk that he was. And now you got to shake hands and do all this networking with people he already had ties with that don't believe in you the way they believed in him, or they have their own ulterior motives to where they're trying to take advantage. And it's just like, it's dope to see the little, the ins and out of the political game of it for me. So I'm enjoying the show. And this, like, I hate to say it, but it's just like when I was watching Shameless,
Shameless.
Yeah, because it's just like, y'all always trying to like defame black people or colored people in TV shows about the way they act, but this is the ignorant stuff, like the dirty stuff that that y'all be getting into. And when it's on Front Street, it's just like, all right, it's enjoyable, but it's also real. Like this is like kind of based off of someone's real life of like how you were treating your children dirty, how your children was treating you dirty, how they treat each other dirty, all for the love of a couple dollars and some fame. And it's just like
it's not a couple dollars though.
I mean, it ain't a couple dollars. It's a couple billies. They dealing with like some real.
I was like, this
money.
is more. This is not
money.
just life changing money. This is life changing like money for a city.
Yeah, I think I just watched the last episode, and it's one of the dopest scenes because they have the actual funeral, and the little brother's supposed to speak. He folds.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, and the way, cause like I'm thinking like he about to go up there, be witty, share some inappropriate jokes or something like that. I'm like, he about to make them uncomfortable at this funeral. No, that man folded. He
like
folded.
fresh laundry.
No, listen, like his reaction was kind of like you've seen Hitch before, right?
Yeah.
Remember when he brought her to the island to see the butcher of Cadiz, and remember how she was like, ah! Yeah. That's the first thing that popped into my mind. I was like, oh, you folded,
Oh,
fan.
you were Island guy.
Yeah.
You were Ellis Island. That's
right.
Ellis Island.
So it was just like, the brother saves the day, but like it's like even at the funeral, people are still shucking and jiving, trying to get stuff done, and it's just like
The game don't stop.
real cutthroat. Right. So it was just like it's an enjoyable show, but it's also reality.
Damn.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to make my way through it. I know by the time it's over, I'm never gonna have a chance to talk about it because it's like all this stuff or whatever. I'm just down for the ride.
Hey,
I know that like I remember when Game of Thrones ended and HBO was and everybody was like, "Yo, this is gonna be the new show for Game of Thrones," and I was just like, I don't know about all that. And then I started watching it, and then like halfway through, I realized I wasn't watching it. I was watching Billions, and I was just like, I don't see what everybody's talking about. I'm not getting hype, and I got dumb mad, and then I just never went back for it. But it's definitely something that I'm getting to. But it's like it is very talk heavy. It's dialogue heavy show. It's like I don't know what people are thinking that they're gonna get from it. Like, but like I feel like that's what it is.
That's what's up.
What else we got? Where we moving?
All right, we're gonna shift over to a show that I've been watching that I don't think you've been watching, but it's in like midway through season 2. Still enjoyable for me, and that's none other than Blindspotting.
Okay, definitely not watching it.
Blindspotting's a good show. I think I want to say he's an executive producer, but I'm not completely sure. I'll make sure to know by next time. But it's the gentleman who plays in Hamilton.
Yeah, he was in the movie. Right?
He was in the movie Blindspotting. He actually did have a cameo this season too, because then everybody's like, "Oh, where you at?" But it's like he had a quick little cameo in the episode, so it was dope to see his face. But basically, season 2 starts off with like the mom finding out that she like has a sickness. I want to say it's dementia.
Okay.
Where she's concerned about her like going to be starting to forget things and what her health looks like, what her son who would usually help with these things locked up, and then the little sister that's kind of like all over.
Because this show follows a white dude, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It follows a white dude. I mean, it actually follows his baby mom because the majority of the show he's locked up. You know what I mean? So he has a son with her. When he gets locked up, she moves in with the mom and the sister, and like nobody's getting along, so they're trying to figure out how to manage this life. But they have like good characters, like the baby mom's best friend. I'm sorry, I don't know these names. I apologize, y'all. But like the best friend has a dope character, and then there was a gentleman that was like living.
Look up the cast.
There you go. There's a gentleman that's living in the house, but he's like on house arrest.
Okay.
So like he has like this long extension cord, like 300 feet of extension cord, so that he can like walk around and chill like in the neighborhood. And like he ends up like getting unplugged from it, and the battery dies. He goes to jail, but like when he comes home, like he's always liked being a cook. So like after he served his time, he comes home, he opens a restaurant. But his character works his way back into the show, and it's just basically like her navigating life with the father of her son being in jail, while living with her mother-in-law that she doesn't see eye to eye with, while still trying to manage her own life. And it's an entertaining show. It's an entertaining show. You looking up that cast?
I'm looking, and I don't see a lot of people that anybody would know.
No, I feel like the little boy was on something before, but I'm not sure.
What, Atticus Woodward?
Yeah,
That's a wild name.
yeah, but he may not have been. But it's a good cast. There's not a lot of like, I don't want to say like memorable faces, because
apparently he's from the movie.
Yeah, I mean almost everybody's from the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just one of those things where like we're gonna do a movie, but then like when we do the TV show, it's like a whole new cast.
Yeah, no. So let me not say that. The little boy's in it. The white dude is in it, and his best friend, the black dude, was like the executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
But like everybody else is like, this is what the outside part of the movie doesn't show, and it's like I said, his family and friends and all that stuff like that. So I think it's a dope show, and I'm enjoying it. If you're looking for something to pick up, this is something to fill the gaps.
Okay.
For sure. All right. From there, let's shift over to Citadel.
The fuck is that? I've never even heard of this one.
I knew that was coming. So Citadel is a new TV show that go ahead and look it up.
Because I'm going to. I ain't never heard it. I feel like you making this up because you trying to test me.
I'm not making it up. So once you see it, you're gonna know who the girl is from on the show. I don't remember. She has a familiar face, but I can't remember what else she's from. Same with the other main character. I feel like I've seen him on something before.
Oh, Priyanka Chopra and whatchamacallit? Rob Stark?
There you go. That's Rob Stark?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Yeah, the one that was supposed to be king, like he wound up getting like shorty pregnant. They killed him at the Red Wedding.
Oh yeah, that's right. So those two play.
He was Icarus in Eternals.
There you go. All right, so this is my guy.
And Priyanka Chopra was from oh my god, what's the name of that show? It's like they were like FBI agents, but it was somewhere else. But then she's married to Nick Jonas, so it's like she's actually Priyanka Jonas. So Quantico. That was the show that she was
from. Okay. So this is kind of like Quantico.
Stanley Tucci's in this?
Yes.
My guy? Okay. Tell me more about this.
I won't say it's like Quantico, but okay, so basically.
Is that Franklin Saint's baby mom? No, that's not her.
That's not her.
That's not her.
So they are secret agents.
Okay.
And they work for an undercover agency called the Citadel. And basically everybody else that knows about Citadel that's trying to stop or doing bad things that Citadel would stop them from doing is uncovering that Citadel is not what they appear to be, and all they want to do is bring Citadel down. So they're literally like killing agents and all that stuff. The season starts off with the two of them on a mission. There's a train crash, and due to technology, they erase her memory, but he actually got actual amnesia from the crash. Wakes up in a hospital, meets another girl. They end up having a family. 8 years later, like the dude finds out where he is and tries to tell him who he is, and then he finds a girl, tries to tell her who she is, and then they slowly find out who they are as they're trying to stop these people from basically starting nuclear warfare. So it's kind of like
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sounds like Jason Bourne meets something that Angelina Jolie was probably.
Damn. She did do a lot of movies like that. What was one of them called? Like Snow or something like that? I was like, what,
yes,
like that?
Yes. So
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
So right. So basically they get back together as a team because he's trying to protect his family.
Mm.
And they're like, they're going to find you. They're going to find your family. They're going to kill you. So you need to help me to protect your family.
Mm.
So there's supposed to be like this drug to help him get his memory back. The drug gets destroyed. But she gets the drug. So she remembers everything, but he doesn't. Turns out that she could have potentially been a double agent. So the whole time they're working together to try to catch these people, he can't trust her or not trust her. He has feelings that they may have had a relationship. She's not being completely honest. He has a wife and a daughter. And it's just like he doesn't know where to do, but he knows he's going to do whatever he needs to do to protect them.
Is this on Netflix?
Nope.
Because I saw the poster, and I was like, I've definitely seen this poster like 1,000,001 times.
Yeah,
But I thought it was a movie.
I want to say it's on Apple TV, but I could be terribly wrong about that. Because y'all know where I watch all my stuff.
So today.
Here you go. Don't be put my piracy app on blast, man.
I put you on.
Shut it down. I don't care.
Apparently it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. There you go. So Amazon Prime. So I'm enjoying the show. I mean, but I like that Jason Bourne type.
Where is it at?
It's not a starting five yet, but it's like, let's say it's that rookie that came in and had a good game, but it doesn't get a lot of minutes. But when you do give him minutes, he produces. You know what I mean? So you could slowly work your way into a role player, maybe 6-man if you keep with this consistency.
But it's like if you give him too much on his plate at first, like you got to realize it's like James Wiseman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, slow down, nigga, I'm blood.
Got to bring it back.
Yeah.
Got to bring it back. But so far, I think it's about 4 episodes in.
Okay.
So it's been entertaining so far.
Better than The Peripheral.
Way better than The Peripheral. Sorry. I apologize for that. I tried so hard to sell that show.
That's 2 strikes,
I
bro.
tried
I'm just
so
saying.
hard to sell
Your
that
Honor
show.
and then this.
Now, Your Honor is not a strike, man. Just because you don't like it, don't make it a strike.
You were talking out here, you were like, oh no, bro. This
And then
show-
that joint came back and ended the season on top notch next level. Okay, it's better.
Top-notch
It's better.
next level?
I'd rather watch that than the Yellowjackets.
That's not saying anything though. Yellowjackets got cut.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm just hoping all these
Season
shows
1 of the Yellowjackets was definitely better than season 1 of Your Honor, without a doubt.
I'm all set. I'm going with Your Honor. Now I'm gonna stick to it.
All right.
That's the truth, and that's
The
my
captain
truth.
always goes down with his boat, I guess. However you want to do it. That's still 2 strikes.
Playing music as the ship goes down.
Where we at? Because like I know, because I'm not gonna lie, you were talking about this show, and I was listening to you, but I happened to look down, and I started to smile thinking about us talking about Ted Lasso. So like I was like, I really want to get through this stuff so I can talk about Ted Lasso.
You see, I got the shirt on, right? There's a reason.
Yeah. I can't remember the words of the intro.
So I wore the shirt to work, right? And somebody was like, I love that shirt. I was like, well, I appreciate it. They was like, that's a very you show. I was like, thank you.
That is like the best compliment I've
ever. I was just
ever heard. If someone told me, I watched Ted Lasso and I thought, this is very Joel, I'd be like, I might cry. That's like the best compliment like I've had in like quite some time. Let's stop before I start talking about Ted Lasso. Where are we going?
All right, let's see where we didn't hit. We'll go to, I feel like we talked about shrinking already, so I don't think I'm going to go there. Let's go to Mando.
Okay. The season ended.
Yes.
So we are done.
Yes.
With this season. It didn't go the route that I thought.
I mean, I know you like Mando. You want me to throw some filler in there before Mando, or you want to get to Mando?
Go for it.
Dave is back out, season 2.
Yes, I am like 2 episodes behind that thing.
Okay.
But it's like it had some good episodes, and it had like a couple. Oof, that was a little rough.
Yeah, it's something to watch.
It is something to watch.
All right, Dave, you're on notice.
Dave's in the rotation though.
He's in rotation, but you all know that Joel said there's a couple there, a couple there. That means, you know what I mean.
I feel like I'm not getting the like I loved like season 2. I think of Dave it was. Where I was like, oh, it's really creative. It's really funny. Like, we're really pushing it.
Right.
And it's just like, we're kind of just in like an okay spot right now.
Yeah, they're trying a little harder. I don't know. I hope it doesn't get worse with all this writer strike stuff going on, but
be prepared.
For those
I don't know if everybody remembers the last writer strike.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, Dave is a Lil Dicky show, and it's basically like a parody of the parody of his career, I guess, if that's what you want to say. And like it just entails like how he became a rapper and him going on tour and the people that he's hanging around and stuff like that. It's something to watch. It's something to watch. It's not terrible. That's a bad way to say it.
That is a bad way to say it. It's a solid half an hour show. Like, it's solid.
Yes.
You don't need to like schedule your day around it, but it's one of those ones that's like, ooh, I could watch a Dave right now.
Right.
And it's like it usually doesn't let you down.
Right. And it has its moments.
It's in the rotation. It's a role player. It's solid.
All right. All right, now we can go on to Mando. Go ahead, you got it. My bad.
There was a lot of stuff that happened. So like I don't know how far back we want to go onto this thing, but like for the most part, oh my god, like now I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Get it together.
Oh my god, it's gonna kill me.
Get it together. Talking about the girl who took her helmet off and
what's her name?
Again, she's supposed to be the queen. Don't ask me for no names.
You could at least
don't ask me for no names. All right, go ahead, continue. I got you.
Because I was gonna call her Bubba Freak, but I know that's a little thing. But that's not her. But we're at the point where Mando, which I didn't know his name was Jin, but like, I feel like they were saying it this season like we knew that his name was Jin the whole time. Mm-hmm. You already looked it up?
Cara Dune? No, that's not her, right?
No.
Continue.
All right.
This can't be right. They got a picture of Nick Nolte on it.
What is this?
Mandalorian cast.
I mean, Nick Nolte got a very...
Somebody needs to give Carl Weathers his flowers, too, man.
I've always been down to give Carl Weathers his flower. Anyways. Yeah. So we're pretty much at a point now where our boy Jin, we can just call him Mando right now, him and Grogu they go back to it's not actually Mandalore, but they kind of bring the Mandalorians to like this kind of like desert planet where like they've kind of been holed up. They tell him that like because he took his helmet off, he is no longer able to be a part of the unit. So he has to go back to Mandalore to bathe into the waters. When he goes back there, he runs into Shorty, who I really hate that I don't know her name, because like I knew her name like the whole time, and it's like now that we're here, just put in season 2. And he runs into her there. He bathes her in the water, or he goes to go into the water. He winds up almost drowning. She then has to go into the water to go get him. When they come back out, she sees the mythical mythosaur that no Mandalorian has seen in like centuries. I think at this point.
Moff Gideon, right?
No, that's the Juan Carlos Esposito, the villain. Is Moff
Oh
Gideon.
yeah.
So they both go back to like this Mandalorian desert planet or whatever. He says that, you know, he is now back under the creed. And in doing that, the armorer also tells her, she's like, let me ask you a question. Since you've bathed in the waters to go get him, have you taken off your helmet? And she goes, no, I haven't. And she's like, well, now you're down with it. So like now we kind of get like these 2 or 3 episodes in a row of like her trying to learn the real creed of like what it means to be a true Mandalorian. She winds up proving herself like over and over, like over like a bunch of like just random stuff. Like one of the guys,
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Thank you, Bo-Katan. That was gonna drive me crazy.
Her off the show doesn't even look like how she. Like,
she just got a red wig. That's it.
She looks like old girl from Ted Lasso that owned her butt. Go ahead.
My girl Becca?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Becca. No, let me not even get into that right now. Oh, bring me the big one. So Bo-Katan, like she proves herself for all this stuff, and like during all this as well, Grogu's also getting kind of like indoctrinated into the Mandalorians. And I can't remember what happens specifically, but something happens where they go talk to the armorer about something, and they come up with like this plan to rebuild Mandalore. And the armorer is just like, listen, I know that like, you know, like I'm kind of like the person everybody comes here for wisdom and all this other stuff or whatever. I personally think you are the person to lead us into this new era of Mandalore. You may now remove your helmet. Like we're going to change some of our rules. And like, they then become tasked with like kind of like, because Mandalorians are so spread out, is kind of getting them together so that way they can retake Mandalore. That's like the fast forward version. That's literally like 6 episodes of the season, like I kind of just did in that little chunk. So then we get to Mandalore, and what do we find out? That Moff Gideon. Sorry, we find out that Moff Gideon and the rest of the Order, is that what they're called in this one? I think it is. And the Order have not only already taken up spots in Mandalore, but they are dressing as Mandalorians and are like kind of like messing stuff up and blaming them for a ton of crimes.
Using their like special armor,
the Beskar armor,
to
like,
make evil armor or whatever you want to call it.
We get a super dope scene of like, you know, him pulling up in his Beskar armor, and like, you know, he kind of,
you can't tell me Moff Gideon ain't one of the dopest villains you've seen in a minute.
Come on now.
Like this man went from Gus and Breaking Bad to Moff Gideon. Like, I mean, I know he's had other roles since then, but like from villain to villain, like.
Have you heard about this rumor of him potentially being the new Professor X?
Oh, listen, fam, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Because you know I can't wait.
Come on,
you know,
man.
like, yo.
Come on, man.
You know, we're gonna get a beaner as a Professor X next time.
All back to the days when this man was in Fresh, man. Come on, man. All right, continue. I'm sorry, man.
You just stepped on my chain, man. Yo, that's him.
I think he did that on purpose.
To what you call it? To me, my X-Men. I can't wait. Let me find out.
Yo.
So you pull up, and you know Moff Gideon pretty much ambushes them. He takes Jin from them, and my man, he doesn't. I think his name was like Piff Gazar, like whatever his name was, but he was the big beefy dude, and like he winds up staying back, and he has this dope farewell moment. But then they pulled out the red high guards out.
Up out of there,
yeah, he had a chance to get up out of there, but he goes, nah, this is the way. And I was like, I've never been the biggest fan of the "this is the way" phrase. I feel like they do it way too much or stuff like that. But like when he looked at it and he was just like, nah, this is the way. And I was like, motherfucking right. And then like, I actually, like, he was so dope that I looked up who he was. And like, when you see him, you'd be like, I see this dude in every action movie. He's every like he has like the swirly mustache and all that stuff, and like he's constantly getting bodied by like superheroes and stuff like or like John Wick and Jason Bourne have killed him in movies. But it's like I was like, oh, that was this dude this whole time.
Yeah,
but yeah, he has a dope scene like that. We get Grogu rocking the old droid that like helped him in season 1.
Yep.
With a no, yes, no.
Yep.
Comes in, saves his damn daddy.
Yeah.
They have a fight with the High Guards or whatever. They bust them down. So we think it's like, yo, it's got to be Mando running the ones with Moff Gideon. Nah, Bo-Katan, the new leader of Mandalore, coming through. Yo, listen, I've been trying. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Bo-Katan, the new leader of the Mandalorians, is like, nah, you suckered me one time. I got something for you, Playboy. And they go and they body Moff Gideon. So like now we're at this point right now where like they go back and as a thank you, Carl Weathers and his people is like, yo, listen, all this land over here, that's y'all's. Anytime that y'all want, we got a whole section built out like that's Mandalore City, whatever.
Oh no, that's not him.
That's not him.
Continue.
So like now we're in like this different place where Mando and Grogu just go. They leave Mandalore and they just go to stay on there while Bo-Katan is kind of like rebuilding Mandalore at the old Mandalore and stuff like that. That's not him either.
Okay.
He's not black. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's not black. So like that's kind of like where we're at with Mandalorian. I thought it was a slow season at a certain point.
It was a slow season.
They definitely it turned from the Jin story to the Bo-Katan story like midway through because I think they are setting up this new Mandalorian show or like whatever it's supposed to be.
Makes sense.
Without him on there because like Pedro Pascal is one of the hottest dudes in Hollywood right now. He's got The Last of Us. He's got all this other stuff going on or whatever. So like we need a reason why he's not around for certain things.
Right.
And like it seems like that's where we're going. But like I think this season did have a lot of dope moments in it.
Of course.
I enjoyed it. I still think Andor is the best Star Wars media that we've gotten since Rogue One. Like I love that. But it's like Mandalorian's up there.
Yeah.
I know it was up there. Yeah. But it was another one too, like when I missed an episode, I wasn't hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was one of those ones where it was like, I had 2 episodes back to back.
I think he's putting you on notice.
And I was like, oh shoot, I missed Mandalorian?
I think he's putting you on notice.
I'm not putting on notice. I just I was just forgetful.
I only think about her when I see her. Oh, snap.
But when I see her, I eat her. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm saying like, what's the next show you got on there?
Next we got, let's go Snowfall.
A little story of Franklin Saint.
Let's go Snowfall. I mean, I know it's been a minute. I know everybody's in talk and said everything that they needed to say about it. So we'll get right to it, right?
You want to just get straight to the finale, or what you thought about the season period?
No, we're going straight to the finale. You already know how I felt about the season. It was pure genius. But I mean, look who made the show, right? So that's not hard. Question I want to ask you. All right, so you sitting at the crib, you watching Snowfall, right?
That's him. That was the big dude.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So you're sitting at the crib, you watching Snowfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Franklin is talking to Leon, and that tear fall from Franklin, and then they pan to Leon, and that tear fall from Leon. What's going on in your mind?
I was like, man, I feel like this is a conversation that I had with my pops before. Because I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I understand this whole conversation when like, he's feeding and he's talking, he's doing all the other stuff. I was like, I've literally been in this conversation. Like, it's kind of crazy, but it's just like, and it sucks that this is where we're at. But it's like, you ended up just like your daddy, the person that you hated the most. The person that you hated the most, you didn't respect him, you didn't respect his struggle, you didn't understand him, you couldn't care less when your mom was trying to get justice for him, and look at who you ended up like.
Dang.
Because of your own hubris.
Dang, Joey.
Just, right.
I ain't arguing with it.
When they ran up on John Singleton at the end, though, how fire was that?
Yeah, I ain't never gonna win no Oscar. So Shondes comes downstairs, right? And he's just like, "Yo, did you watch Snowfall?" I'm like, "Are you serious right now, fam? Do you know?" It's not even that one now.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was about to talk mad junk.
I was like, "Are you serious right now, fam? Like that, like Snowfall been over." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I wasn't watching it, but I seen the last episode clip." So I binge watched the whole thing.
He was acting his ass off, by the way. Like, yo, Damson was killing it.
Oh, yeah. So I looked at him. I was like, did you see the Boys in the Hood scene? He's like, Boys in the Hood scene? I was like, you've seen Boys in the Hood, right, son? He's like, yeah. I was like, do you remember what Ricky and them was wearing when they went to the store? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, go watch Snowfall again and look at the kids where he was like, y'all ain't gonna win no Oscar. As soon as I said, he was like, oh, I was like,
And then like the whole realization that the whole time, like in all those episodes where they kept having to do with the camera and they kept mushing them.
yes,
They're like, yo, who's this? There's some square around here.
Yes.
And that was John Singleton the whole time. It was
yes.
And then at the very at the end, it was like, this is for John or something. I was like, man, what a hell of a way to end the show.
It is.
So I mean, I think the real question is like, was it a satisfying ending?
It was painful, but it was definitely genius.
I'm just saying, ever since you snatched that stopwatch from me, more stopwatches have been going on.
I'm just gonna throw them all away.
I'm just saying. Why are they here,
They're
bro?
gonna be somewhere else. I don't know. We digress. All right, listen. It was definitely super satisfying. It was definitely painful to watch. I felt like that moment when he had the conversation with Leon was the one time that he was Franklin that Leon remembered before he went back to being Franklin.
You're my best friend.
Right. Like he was like, but he wasn't saying that like when he showed him, he's like, come on, Lee, come in the house, man. We gotta go out the back door, and then like he was Franklin as his dad then.
Yeah.
But for that one moment when he was talking to him, he was Franklin. I still got millions of dollars. I'm talking to you as my best friend. And once I get this out, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to go back to whatever I have to live life as. And I think that's like the whole Leon keep calling him is because he's seen in him like regardless of how you look, how the house looks, when we had this moment just now, I could see my old friend when you said that. So it's you telling me you proud of me is like that's just a lip service. I can feel and see in you the guy I used to know, and I know that's not who you are now, but I know that moment that I just had with you I can never get again, and it's never going to come back. And I'm calling you to come back, but you already know the inevitable. So it's just like I got to be stuck with this pain of like never having my friend again, but you stuck with this pain of knowing that like everything that you were doing for the people that you met that matter to you are now all gone. And it's like you got to take ownership for that. So it was just like that was a tough scene to watch. That was a tough scene to watch.
How much did you think when Franklin went into that store when he came back out, Leon wasn't gonna be there?
Nah, I knew Leon was gonna be there.
Because like the whole time I was just
Leon's
like,
never leaving. Leon, I'm not saying he's never leaving, but like if somebody could call him, he's in Africa and be like, "Yo, Franklin, need your help. I'm on the next flight." Like Leon's that type of dude, man. I didn't think he was going in.
I mean, do you want to like go down the character list and like how they ended up and like what you thought about that stuff? Because I mean, we kind of just hit on Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. Of all the despicable things that Franklin has done, when he shot the Puerto Rican cat after opening the safe, I was just like, that was despicable. That's like,
Franklin has done a lot of stuff that you can frown on, but like it's a TV show, so you're just all right, I'm gonna forgive that, Franklin. We're gonna keep it moving. You gave homie the 12K just to pop him in the back. I was just like, fam,
that was some sucker shit.
Come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I genuinely think that he would not have said nothing.
Yeah.
And I know you can't run the risk, but like, you literally have nothing else to do right now. There's nothing from Teddy. There's nothing from Peaches. Like, baby mom's gone. Like this. Like, you did not have to pop this man. Like,
didn't need to.
But I mean, the shock value of it happening in the show just made it that much more intense.
It was one of those things where like you had like a hint of like maybe Franklin can still be redeemable, and then like he does that and you just go, ugh. Like I was disappointed in him.
Yeah,
that's like how I felt like after he did it.
It was a bit of disappointment.
Leon.
I mean,
Lil Lee got up out of there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I don't know what else you could say. It's like
I don't know why Leon keeps coming back. Like, yo, stay your ass in Ghana, bro.
Leon is what like every hustler wants to be. Like, make all the millions, take all the risks, and then get out unscathed. I won't say unscathed, but you get out and you're able to now make an impact somewhere to us. Somebody else doesn't have to go through what you had to go through.
If you're Leon, do you give Franklin the money?
Nah, because he's gonna end up dead. I don't know if you noticed. Somebody pointed it out, and I didn't notice it at first too. But did you see the moment that Leon had with old boy whose daughter got killed?
Old boy whose daughter got killed.
Yep. So The light skinned dude, Stacy.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they were at the uncle's funeral, you know how they had the recession afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment when they're sitting at the table together, and Leon is crying. Everybody thinks he's crying for Jerome, but he's actually crying as he's apologizing to the dude for killing his daughter. And he's like, "It's all right, man. It's all right. Don't worry about it." And I was just like,
Wow, I missed that.
I missed it as well. Somebody else had pointed it out. And I was like, "Yo, look at that! Like that was one of the demons that was killing him, like slowly. You know what I mean? So just to hear from the dad, like, it's all right. I forgive you. Like that's a big moment. So Lee, I think
Look at what Stacy ended up becoming on the show, though.
Right. He's like the hood prophet.
That dude was trying to crucifying people at one point in time.
Yes, he was. He was definitely tripping out there. But I mean, Leon is like he's like top 3 characters for me, man. Top 3.
Sissy.
She's like hiding in a barn or something, right?
No, Sissy's in jail, bro.
I mean, his mom. I'm thinking of that. Yeah, I'm all set with Sissy, man. Even if we feel like Teddy is not gonna give him the money, like. What she didn't do that for Franklin, bro.
No.
Like I know everybody say, "Oh, she did that because she didn't want him to get the money because look at where he's ended up," and that was all emotionally reactive decisions, and it was premeditated reactive decision, if that even makes sense. But like, you proactively brought a gun, thinking if this dude acts out of character, I'm gonna put a hole in him, and then when he started pulling on your heartstrings, you reacted and you put a hole in him. You wasn't caring about what Franklin was going through. You didn't care about him having a child that's your grandchild and having a wife, and this may be his last opportunity. Like I said, even if Teddy is lying and you find out later that he is, you don't know. Like, you don't know. This could have been the one time Teddy was like, all right, I'm going to keep it all the way real so we can split this money and go our separate ways, and I'll try to catch you later.
How cold-blooded was it, though, when he just looked at it? He's like, I fucking shot him twice. What are you talking about? He's like, he's not in jail.
He's like, you idiot? Are you serious? I've been playing you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, still to this moment, you don't know, because, like, Teddy's a weird dude, so he could have actually been lying. And it's like, all right, just go ahead and kill me. That way you don't find out where he's at. Mm-hmm. You can't, like, touch my girl. Like, all this stuff is a wrap. You know what I mean? Like, you already killed my pops. I don't care. You know what I mean? So I thought what Sissy did was, like, very selfish. But, I mean, everybody in the show was being selfish.
I very much enjoyed her speech to Leon.
Yes.
Like, I think there was a lot of, like, there was, you know.
I mean, that's the good part of Sissy.
Like, the parallels between her conversation with Franklin and her conversation with Leon were two very different conversations. And I think a lot of that has to deal with Franklin, because, like, where he was at and, like, what he was talking about, like, I think he could have prevented Sissy from shooting Teddy if, like, he would have just showed any sort of empathy to her, like, when he was talking to her. Because she was just like, oh, like, you know, like, Alton could still be alive. He's like, and he literally thought, he's like, I don't give a damn about Alton.
Right.
And stuff like that. And it's like, yo, but that's your father, bro.
Right.
And he's just like, yo, I never came into it. He's a bum ass and he did all that stuff.
Sissy
or whatever.
I mean, you gotta think, like, Sissy's faced with, like, the parenting that she tried to be to the kids in the neighborhood as opposed to the parent she actually is to Franklin, and how she has to carry.
She's an enabler.
How she has to carry that seed. So it's like, I saw everything in you, Franklin, that I wanted you to be, and you're brilliant, but I despise you. I did not like you being around Leon. I despised him, but I love him, and he grew into the son that I always thought I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So she's trying to salvage some bit of, like, I did something good from that, from being proud of him and being proud of Wanda and what they're doing, and it being directly connected to some of the work that her and Alton was doing through the shelter and everything like that, and just feeling like some good can come back to the neighborhood from, you have to say, the destruction of a whole community that's based from her front doorstep. So it's wild. It's wild.
Do we even need to get to Teddy, Louie, and all the rest of it, or can we just call it at those three?
No, we call it at those three.
All right. But, like, overall, Snowfall I thought was a great show. I thought the season before was super weak. But, like, I thought this season really picked it up. Like, it had, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes that was a little bit slow, but, like, and then after that, it took off. Had a fantastic finale. I think it does. I think people do too much when they try to compare it to The Wire. I do think it's, like, it's definitely below that. It's above Snowfall. It's definitely one of the better drug shows that, like, we've seen.
Snowfall. You said it's above Snowfall.
I meant above Power. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there was a thing where Power was going on. People were like, "Is Power better than The Wire?" I was like, "You guys must be on the powder." Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, like, if you think that it's anywhere close. But like Snowfall, like I think it did solidify itself as one of the better TV shows that have come out, like especially in this last decade or so. And I thought everybody in it acted really well. Like I think they even goes to show like how much I didn't like Louis. It's not because like her actress was bad. I just thought that like she played her so well. Like I was supposed to not like her and I didn't like her.
There you go.
R.I.P. Jerome.
Word. I miss my Uncle Rome, y'all. Oh no. All right, we got 2 shows left. We're gonna go Abbott Elementary first.
Okay. You wanna go take the reins on this? I know that's your jam.
Listen, man. This show can. What's that little skit that they be having? The little voiceover, like Snoop Dogg's voice. Like he don't miss.
Yeah.
This brother don't miss.
I can't wait till we get in on this episode though, because I was fuming. Go ahead.
Abbott Elementary does not miss.
Does not miss.
It does not miss. Like they switch lanes so well. They attack current like situations. Like they don't neglect the school, even though like the school is their platform for them to do other things. Like you see shows like kind of like how like let's take like an All-American for a situation. Like people were into that because of like the football and all of that, and like as the show went along, it was more of everything else and less football. So it was like, all right, we get it, but can we get some more football in here? The show's called All-American, you know what I mean? But it's like they make sure not to take away from that school aspect, so they're in that building, like that you still have the cameo from kids like once every episode, to where you're like, all right, they're still appreciating the kids, you know? It's like I love the show. It's not, there's nothing they can do wrong on this show.
The thing is, like, I can't remember, besides obviously the finale, like what the last episode that we talked about. Because it's like there was quite a bit of stuff that happened through there.
Well, let's. I mean, we could dial back and think about some of the things that happened. So, Janine and Gregory finally told each other that.
Let me know if you're ready to go in on it, because I'm ready.
They liked each other, and then they decided that they're not going to be together.
They decided. Go ahead.
Well, Janine decided. Look, this. Go ahead.
Janine, fuck you. You dirty bitch. Every time
Yo, this brother's tripping. I have the right to be selfish. She does have a right to be selfish.
Absolutely, you do. But it's like so. But and they. I think the next season is gonna have a lot to do with like how you feel with this like as a whole, though, right? Because then it's like.
Yeah, fair. Go ahead.
No, but it's like this whole thing, right? Where it's like so we'll put the episode like in a nutshell, right? Where it's like they are getting ready to go to this overnight trip. Yep. They're very excited about it. Like both Gregory and Janine have been paired in the same group. Yep. They're both single. They're both very clearly feeling each other, but like they're also like haven't really told each other like how they felt about each other.
And Barbara's wearing an alien mask.
Well, yeah. But like what winds up happening is while they're lined up waiting for the bus, Maurice walks by. And like, you know, like Janine just being Janine just has to get up in Maurice's face and talk to him, because he's just like, Jesus Christ, why are you talking to me, woman? But then like he tells her, he's like, I understand, he was just being selfish. It is what it is. And then she hears that and gets all up in her feels about it. And then like all of a sudden she starts treating Gregory mad crazy, starts being wild corny, like trying to avoid him on this trip and stuff like that. So then like they get to the point where, and like Gregory's trying to like be like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? Right. And she's not talking to him. She's being super distant, being super apprehensive. And he's having like these moments with Jacob. He's like, trying to like get some insight. He's like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong all of a sudden. And like, you know, they finally have the conversation. He tells her, he's like, I've liked you since Jump Street. And then like she says, well, I liked you too, but then why did you date this person? He was like, what was I supposed to do? Like wait around? Like you weren't giving me nothing. And then like this person came around, and it's just the way that it moves. But now here we are. I just told you I like you. You told me you like me. I'm single. You're single. And then she goes, oh, like I still feel like I need to be like selfish right now. Like I like when I go into work and I like seeing you there and I like this and I like that, but it's just like I'm not ready for it. And it's like he's heartbroken, right? And he's just like, yo, like I understand, because it's like, what am I supposed to do? Be like, nah, bitch, we dating. Like, you know, it's like, yeah. It's like, no, it's like I have to be understanding like in this moment, but at the same time, it's like, what about like his side of all this stuff or whatever? It's like, you know, he's gone out of his way to be super accommodating and do like a lot of stuff for you or whatever. And it's like, I know, I understand. Like that does not mean because like I'm all these things that like you have to give me a relationship and all this other stuff, whatever. But like my thing is like why are we not like give me a real honest answer of like why are we not doing this? Like why not? Like, you know, I've all the things that you thought that you wanted, like I've shown you that I am that. Like I can, not only can I be that, I have been that. And the things that like I haven't done, I fixed, or like I've tried to like adjust. He even tells her like when they're talking about the shows and stuff that he's like, no, like he's like, yeah, I like this. She's like, oh, I can't believe you actually listened to my recommendation. He's like, yeah, I want to know why you like things. Like I'm very interested in you.
I feel like there's a Janine out there that's Gregory in you.
Jesus Christ. But like, so the whole thing is like, what I'm saying is like, you know, the next season will say like a lot to do about it, because then it's just like, is Gregory supposed to like wait around for you to like to figure out when you don't want to be selfish? Because like then if we start this new season, right, and it's like all of a sudden Gregory isn't doing those things that he was doing anymore, and like he's treating you like a little bit different, you're gonna feel some type of way, right? Why is he treating me different? Why is he doing this? How come he's not doing all these things that he's doing anymore? It's like, well, you told him that you wanted to be selfish, so like now if he wants to be selfish too, like now you can't handle it, and like we can't be accommodating to what I need. Like, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of this is like foreshadowing or like whatever, and it's just like it's a part of me where it's like I just don't feel like it was super realistic. And I think it was like the only time like in the writing of the show where like I felt like these things don't make sense.
Okay.
And like I feel like the same situation is happening in Ted Lasso, and it's being handled like a lot better. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
talk about it.
Because like, you know, like I feel like the way that Ted Lasso was written is a lot more realistic.
Okay.
Because it's just like, and I think it does just come down to like Janine's reasoning of like why not? Because like you could do the whole like we take it slow, we could do these things, but it's like she's just doing like the whole like no, like I don't want to do this, and I don't really have a great reason for it, but you have to respect my reason. And because Gregory is a respectful person, he's going to respect your reasoning and he's going to respect your boundaries. But like you can't be feeling some type of way when he acts accordingly.
Given the fact that Gregory is, and this ain't me caping for nothing, right? That Gregory is like so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
for autistic.
I mean, I want to say that, but it's like with that comes like being very like forward and neat
direct.
And yes. So being so rigid. Direct, yes, and knowing all of this, how would you not know that Janine's not put together? Based on the boyfriend that she was with last time, based on the way she carries herself sometimes, how did you? What would make you think that she was ready for something that was semi-stable as a relationship and that she wouldn't have issues like this?
First of all, I think he does know that she's not like that, and he does not care. He likes her. He likes her for who she is, and he's okay with who she is at that point in time. But at the same time, you just dated Mo's bum ass. You was with Tariq for 9 years. You can give all your time to these bum ass niggas, but now that the one dude that's giving you all the things that you want, you can't do it because you've been a little bit more fun now.
Such is life.
Sure. Sure. I'm just saying, like it left a bad taste in my mouth because I was just it was one of those things too, like. And I also felt like it was kind of, I don't want to say it was out of character, but I was just like, I feel like this isn't how I thought Janine would have handled this situation. Even if they didn't end up together at the end of the season, I feel like she would have thought about it like a different way. Like you're trying to tell me like the words of an ex-boyfriend who you just happen to see in the street affect you so drastically that now you're changing the prospect of what your life was about to look like because he called you selfish. And he didn't even be like, oh, you're so selfish. He was like, yeah, he was being selfish. And like you couldn't handle that criticism so much that it caused you to flip your whole shit around.
Which sounds like Janine.
A little bit.
Sounds like Janine.
Sure.
See how I'm just saying when her mom showed up.
It's true. Like, or when that parent told her she was a bad teacher.
Yep.
Everybody else's words
added 15 more % juice to the kid's day, and they was all sugared and hyped up and dead by the end of the day. So she does things very reactively.
You want to listen to everybody else's words is more important, except for the people who actually matter. Because Gregory's words didn't matter, but like you want Mo's words to weigh more than Gregory's words.
So it sounds like you're helping people to find the lesson in the episode.
Make it make sense.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think there's something that's heartbreaking to me that we have that a lot of people are not noticing is that we may lose our custodial manager.
What do you mean? Why is that?
Because he was like on the show and he was like, hey, I'm about to take a leave of absence or a vacation. Like, I know it's part of the show, but I felt like the next couple episodes you didn't really see him like that. Like, he may be venturing out into another opportunity where he's still on Abbott, but like he may have something else going on, and we may not see him as often. And his banter on the show is hilarious.
Oh, he's one of the best characters on the show. Period.
Yes. I still watch the episode where the kid pulled the candy off his forehead. Yeah. But yeah, so we know that's the premise of the show. Like that's like the catalyst of like where everything's going. But what are you thinking as far as like the other characters, like Barbara and Melissa, and Jacob. Yes, that's it, right?
Ava.
Ava's my favorite. Even though you said that crazy stuff about Chappelle, but it's all right. Some people's comedy aren't for other people.
This season has like been all about like them learning a lot of stuff, right? Like Barbara's whole thing has been learning like she doesn't have to shoulder all this load. Right. That like she also, as much as she loves and wants to dedicate to her kids, she also needs to dedicate to herself. She clearly has some issues going on with her husband's health-wise. She's got her own stuff health-wise, which is why she needs a CPAP machine. And like, you know, being embarrassed of not being perfect. And that's been like her whole arc. And it's like, you know, that's kind of
that brother preaching.
I don't want to say like it's been like it's come to a close, but it's like I think we're at a point now where it's like she knows that she can share with so many people and stuff like that. I don't know what you would say Melissa's arc has really been. Like I know like it's been a lot of like just management or just like, you know, she's a lot more capable in like, you know, finding these other solutions instead of being a hothead.
She's the glue.
Yeah, but it's like she's kind of went from like being like flying off the handle where she's a lot more measured now, and it's like she's able to sit back and like she's been a person that a lot of people have been able to confide in.
She's entering her barber phase.
Yeah, like that's what it seems like. It's like she's transitioning to that. Jacob has been like a lot more stable. Like he's been a lot more stabilizing force. He's been a lot more calmer. He's been able to observe and like pick his moments, and like he's also at a point where he's more aware of when he needs to rein it in. And like I think Ava is at the point where like she's starting to become more professional because like she's not
becoming
only
a principal.
She's not only understanding like how much she cares for her staff, because I think she's always cared about the kids.
Definitely.
Like it doesn't appear that way to them because like she's very loose with like a lot of the rules and stuff like that, but she cares about the people. But it's like she's starting to realize like her lackadaisical attitude and things about that is like affecting the teachers, and it's like that and like where that goes from there. And then I think Jacob also inspired her to get her own education going, and like so she's starting to learn more.
Which was
from
a dope
that
episode.
Yeah, that was a great episode. He's one of the best of the seasons. But like, absolutely love Abbott. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it had a weird scheduling thing this year where it was just like it seemed like it would be like, oh, here's an episode, then 3 weeks, and then an episode, and then another 2 weeks, and it was like that was very disjointing. Right. And I hope we get that together.
And
next
I don't even know if this last episode was a finale or not, because
it was the finale.
They were like 20 episodes into the season. Yeah, they was running them off. I was just like, I keep them coming.
We got a mid-season finale and stuff like that.
Right. So, if you're not watching Abbott, I don't know what you are watching, but definitely one to pick up. I think we are ready to shift from there. You got anything else you want to drop a gem on?
Not really, but like Abbott's what? It's not your franchise player, but it's a star. It's a Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
To Jalen Brunson?
Yes.
other Jalen B?
Yes, definitely. I think that's it. We don't have any more shows, right?
We missed Barry.
Oh, we'll say Barry for next time.
You think so? Yeah. I just want to talk about like how butt cheeks that one episode of Barry was. When they were out in the desert, it was such a bad episode. I almost didn't keep watching Barry. I was infuriated.
The first few episodes were terrible. I think it's starting to pick up now.
I feel like the second my man NoHo Hank showed up, I completely was back in.
Yeah,
but then we had
NoHo Hank, and I don't want to ruin it. Have you watched the latest episode?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, like Barry going back to LA lets me know that everything's gonna start being entertaining again. But everything before that, like I felt like you could have got all that done in one episode. I hate filler episodes.
Before the episode where they were out in the middle of nowhere, I thought the episode before was one of the best episodes that Barry had done.
Which one?
And I was about to tell you. Okay. And for a show called Barry, Barry's literally only in it for like 2 minutes. It's literally all side character episode. We get the NoHo Hank and Cristobal.
Oh, yeah.
We get Fuchs in jail.
Yep.
And then we get Gene Cousineau shooting his own son.
Yes.
Type of deal.
Yeah.
And I thought that episode was fantastic all the way through. But it was really, really anchored by the NoHo Hank and Cristobal thing.
Yeah.
It tore like my heart out, like the way that it happened. Like I really did not want that to happen for them.
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, come on, man. Hilarious?
I told you don't go outside. I told you don't go outside.
Dude,
If
no,
you
Hank was acting his ass off.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely.
I was like, he was just like, he's like, you can't go,
definitely.
bro. You can't.
Definitely.
Oh. When in the beginning of the episode, where he's like, hey, Cristobal, come out here real quick, and he drops him in the sand. Like, yo, I was terrified, bro. Like, the way he's like, hey, and he's like, you can't breathe. I was like, oh my God. I can't believe this is how
Hank's
they're doing
a savage.
Like, yes, Hank is a savage.
Hank's a savage.
But, like, the Cristobal aspect of it, I was like, oh my God, like, this is, like, it's such a visceral way
and then homie
for him to go
dedicated
out.
everything to him.
The golden Cristobal, like, the whole stuff. But like it really tore my heart out because like I felt like Noah Hank is my favorite person in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like I know like how much that like the way he was acting, like I was like it really tore his heart out that it had to go the way that it went.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that we almost lost Cristobal like a couple minutes prior to that,
mm-hmm.
and like you think that like they're not gonna fake kill him and then like kill him again. Right. And it's like they did go that route. Like I was like, wow. Like I was like, that was a hell of an episode to me. Yeah, but then to follow it up with that stinker, I was pretty pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just yo, I must have said what the F is going on like 30 times.
It's all filler. Because they could have put all that in one.
I knew I didn't like Sally. And that episode, I was like, I fucking hate Sally.
I never liked Sally.
She had like a little arc, like in like season 2 or 3, where she was kind of getting stuff going, and I was like, oh, all right. And then like as soon as it started going down, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she sucks.
Yes,
she sucks, bro. I don't understand why Barry likes her so
help
much.
This girl get an acting career, and at the moment that you could, you try to steal her career, and it was like, yeah, we need you to teach her how to do that.
Yeah, do that.
I was like, you thought you had him.
That would be like being a singing coach. They're like, hey, we need this person to sing. It's like, no, you gotta sing like this. And then they're just like, oh man, that was great. Make him do that shit.
Right. I need that voice on this person. Yeah. That's all I need. But yeah, I mean, it's about to turn up now. Yeah, I like where the episode.
The last episode, like it was a good palate cleanser. Yeah. It still wasn't a great episode, but it was like a palate cleanser. It was like, all right, like I'm ready for this this vibe over here. But yeah, let's get to the God.
I think that's it, right?
Let's get to the God, man. Stop playing games because I know we want to get out of here because we're already in the third quarter.
There's a show left.
There's one show left.
What show is that?
You keep playing games, bro.
Ted Lasso. I was gonna get you a shirt.
This is the best show on television, bro.
I was gonna get you a shirt. Man.
I know, I'm a little jealous, but I appreciate the thought that went into it.
Yeah. I wanted us to both have a shirt on.
I think this season has been absolutely fantastic.
You don't miss.
Like I feel like
just not miss.
I feel like it's gone up, bro. Like I feel like it's not only like this show's been great. It's always been great. I feel like this is like the best that it's been.
Yes, and I think what I like about this season is like, all right, so in past season, they're doing character development. They're trying to get you to fall in love with the show. So of course, like Ted being the main character, you got to center a lot of the stuff and interactions around him. But like they have built out everyone else's storylines. So now, like, the same feeling that you have for Ted, you have for every character in the show. So whenever they go to another storyline that doesn't involve Ted, it's still an entertaining show.
This last episode, Ted was, like, not even in it.
Right.
Like, he was in the background.
Right. Because you got.
Hold on a second. Because, like, I also don't remember what episode that we stopped talking about it. But I gotta say, I don't know if there's a sports character. Maybe Jeremy Lin is like the best person that I could think of, where it's like this person came out of nowhere. They were just shooting fireballs like the whole time. Sam's dad, was one of like the best introduced characters that's ever existed on anything. I love this man.
When they was in the kitchen cooking. And he was doing the little dance. I was just like, yo.
When he first showed up, and it's like Sam immediately just like crumbles.
Yes.
Like in his arms.
Yes.
And then like he says something, and then it's like his surrogate father Ted comes in and is just like, hey Sam, we need to get you out there. Right. And he looks over and he's like, can I interest you with some American candy? He's like, absolutely. High fructose culture. I was like, oh, let's go.
Listen, the way that man was looking at Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. I heard a lot about you.
I heard a lot about you.
He's like, Father, you did not make it awkward, did you? He's like, I did.
Yes, very much so. And then he was like, "Yo, I still want to see the restaurant. And he shows up.
We have to see it,
right? And his homie's just cleaning the restaurant, man.
This show, man, like, and I know that I feel like I talk about I be crying a lot. This show, every episode gets me.
So there's no opportunity for you to have an emotional break because when you're laughing because it's funny, but when you're not, you're having these super powerful moments where you're like look at everybody on the show growing. So it's just like things that stand out for me is like the Insomnia dad moment, and when like he didn't make the national team. But
oh my god, I was crushed
because of the hater. Then you have,
and even still, you would think that he would be like a cartoony character. He's a good character too. He's a very well written character.
Rebecca has her moments when she stands up to the big owners, and she's just like, "I'm not gonna just be so and so's wife who now owns this team. Like, nah, I'm an owner. Y'all gonna respect me."
I'm convinced Rebecca is the best actor on the show. Like, because like she does a lot of things like just with her face, or like saying like one thing, where it's like she conveys the whole thing, and she bodies it. Like there's in that scene, or like right before that scene where she's in the mirror and she's got the little girl, and she does a.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I was like, oh my god, I love this show, bro.
They're little boys, just like, yep.
I love this show, bro.
You got Keely going through her situation of like losing her company, and then all because of like an professional relationship that is a no go. You know what I mean? And then you got Roy Kent, like when he did the press conference.
Oh.
After
don't get me going. Don't get me going.
He did the press conference after. So one of the teammates gets found out as homosexual.
He gets outed.
Right, and then his teammate treats him differently. He thinks it's because of that, but
I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, I did too. But I was like,
Ted Lasso's better than that.
Right.
I was like, I really hope we're not going down this homophobe Isaac route.
Right. So that's not what it was. It was more like, we've been such good friends. Why did you feel like you couldn't tell me?
He said, "What's so wrong with me that you felt that you couldn't confide in me?" And I was like, I was like, even though I knew what was coming, the way that they say it is like these writers. I hope the writer strike does not impact Ted Lasso. Let me tell you, because these writers be crushing it. You know that like almost all the writers are actors in the show, right?
That's dope.
Like the head writer is Coach Beard.
Word.
And then
that's dope.
And Roy Kent is a writer on the show, and like he literally was like as I'm writing the character, I feel like I could be this character. And like he pitched it to the writer's room, and I guess like he sent in a video of him doing it, and he was just like, "Yo, if it's awful, pretend I never sent it, but if it's good or whatever." And like they were like, "Dude, like absolutely, this is you."
Genius. Because who else can act out the thing that you're writing than the person who's writing it?
I've seen a lot of writers and bad actors.
Isaac goes in the crowd after they drop the F-bomb on his teammate, and he goes in there. He's literally about to fight
Colin?
No. He's about to fight a fan over Colin because the dude dropped the F-bomb on him at the game. He gets a red card. He gets kicked out. So Roy Kent had just did a press conference. That didn't show for a press conference. Because Beard goes in there and acts a whole fool.
He's the greatest guitarist of all time.
A whole fool. And then Roy Kent comes in afterwards and takes on the responsibility of like, all right, I'm gonna do this press conference.
I don't know how much time we're supposed to have on the rest of this podcast. I can do 4 hours right now until I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know.
When Roy Kent told him, was like, hey, listen, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. He was like, he did exactly what he thought he needed to do for a friend, and it's none of.
Do I think that what he did was right? No, I think he should have got more than a red card. That was wrong.
Right.
Do you feel like it was justified? And he's like, what should I know? It's none of my business.
None of my business. It's none of my business.
Tells an amazing story.
And it's just like that's the essence of what the Ted Lasso show is, and that alone is just like, yeah, this show is fire.
There's an episode.
Not to mention, through all this, Ted Lasso is trying to navigate the fact that his son is getting older, and he's trying to have a relationship with his son while his ex-wife has a new man, and that man was their marriage counselor, who he says, I always felt like he was attacking me in our sessions and always taking her side.
Which is why he always had a rough relationship with this team therapist.
Yes.
And why he didn't trust therapists.
Yes, because that dude,
he violated the trust.
He violated the trust. And like, not only were you taking her side, now you all over her backside. Like, and now you in the crib and answering my phone, and like you hanging out with my son. I think the most validated moment for me, because I like, this dude is wrong. He's all the way wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
The mom is wrong as well. The son, like when they picked him up, and the guy standing there, he has the high five up, and the kid just walks by his hand and hopped in the car. He's like, I'm all set. He's like, I know who my dad is.
It really reminds me of like Liar Liar when he's like the claw, and he's just like, yo, get the fuck off.
I've got the.
Fuck off, Peter. Like, I'm too young to say fuck off, but like your face should know. Like, I'm saying, yo, fuck off, bro. Because Jim Carrey doesn't go.
That's a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
That's a perfect comparison. That's a perfect comparison. I love Beard. Like he's right on time. He's right on time with everything that he does. It's like, I don't care what y'all do in this show, you are not going to convince me to like Nate again.
Because I do. And I think I never actually hated him.
Listen, man.
He went towards the dark side.
Listen, man. You went towards the dark side.
He's Anakin Skywalker, bro. He's Anakin.
You outed Ted Lasso. You tore up the believe sign. Like, fam, I'm all set with you. I'm all set with you. You act like you ain't hear a son calling you at the game. This man turns around. You act like you're not about to wave at this man while he brought me all the way to the game. Beard had me rolling too. He was like, you know I didn't want to go to that effing game.
Yeah, he did. He's like, I didn't want to be there.
Right.
He told
but
me
even that was a moment, like when they're listening to the song and Beard's explaining to the son what that song is, and like giving him a perspective of what his dad is going through, and the kid gets it. You know what I mean? It's
because that's the thing, is they keep treating him like a child, but it's like he's growing up.
Right.
And it's like, you got to have like more adult things for him to get to respect his intelligence.
Right.
And like, yet again, I know that there's a lot of episodes that we have to go through. There's been a lot of journeys. And like one of my favorite episodes of this season was the Amsterdam episode.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it's the when Rebecca falls in the water and she's with the dude on the boat. Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he was on another show too, playing like the same type of character. I think it was Sex Education, which I'm pretty sure you don't watch.
No.
But like, I think Rebecca's been crushing it this whole season. I think her whole storyline all the way through. We have to find out what's going on with this psychic giving her, stuff like that, and everything's hidden. The shite and nining armor.
I thought she was gonna end up pregnant or something. It's like, oh shucks. Oh, from the Amsterdam dude?
They didn't have sex though. They didn't do anything.
Listen, who knows? I don't know. This show can't.
But like, oh my god, bro! Like you just said that episode, and she goes to the doctor to try to find out, and you don't even hear.
Tell you what the information is.
You don't hear the information, but she just says, "That's what I thought," and it's just like.
But you don't know if it's good or bad.
But the acting in that scene though, it's just so like you're like it rips your heart for her.
But you don't know what the information is.
It wasn't positive information. Like let's be honest.
You don't know though.
Let's be honest. What? And
I don't know.
You don't. We don't.
It's
sure.
Ted Lasso.
You want to go down there?
It's Ted Lasso.
We don't know.
It's Ted Lasso.
We don't know. And then, like, not only that, when she's at the psychic, and the psychic tells her that information, and she stands up and she goes, "You are cruel," and stuff like that, and she just walks out. And I was like, I don't know. It's like it's this thing that they do on the show where it's like they can make 3 words super powerful, and it's like I feel like they do that like a lot, and like I feel like there's nobody's journey that I've enjoyed more than Rebecca's, especially this season.
I could disagree because we're gonna end soon, but I'm gonna let you.
There's another guy.
Let you get your one off on because I know that you enjoy Rebecca's character, but there's another person that I know.
There's another person. I think they're my number 2. I'm just saying that Becca's my number 1.
All right, well,
she's my favorite person.
Right, we'll get to it.
Go ahead. Who is it?
The reporter dude.
Oh, Ted Krim?
Yes.
That's not even where I was going.
Who was you going with?
Jamie Tart. Jamie Tart's story hasn't just been crushing it.
I mean, this is where
first of all, I've always loved Trent Krim, and I've always been on the Trent Krim train. This season, Trent motherfucking Krim. I feel like there's a small part of me that makes me feel like he's gonna write a scathing book, and it's like I know he's not. But it's like there's a part of me that believes that they might do that, and I will hate them for it.
I think that he's going to do that, but he's going to do it respectfully to where everybody's like, it's not a bad book, but you told stuff that we were supposed to tell and not you. I think that's the way it goes. But y'all not going to make me like Nate again. I'm telling you, you're not going to make me like Nate
let's stay on the Trent Krim thing. If you want to stay on the Trent Krim thing. Where it's like,
he's like
first of all,
he's like Sherlock Holmes reporter.
Yeah, and like, he is been us this whole season. Where it's like we're like he's the one that's like just asking random questions about things.
Right.
He wants to be involved in things, but he never pushes to be involved in anything.
Right.
He only goes to things that he's invited to, so on and so forth. He uncovers a lot of stuff. The biggest thing being Colin's sexuality. Then we also get that Trent is also gay, and then like. It's a very short thing, but like he tells like his story about like how he was married and like all these other things, and like like you think that it's rough being that. Imagine having to tell your wife that like you're not sexually attracted to her no more, stuff like that. But it's like like Trent's whole journey has been fantastic. Them embracing him has been fantastic. The thing with him and Roy, like when Roy is like, like you wrote this about me when I was 17 years old, it fucking crushed me. And he's like, yeah, like I understand, like that was a really messed up thing, but I think you don't understand is like I was also something like that, and I was trying to make my name and things, and he's like, I think that I didn't go about it the best way possible. And it's just like he can be apologetic but also be understanding, and it's like he's been an amazing addition to being around. It's almost like the janitor in Abbott, where it's just like he was a bit person, like you only saw a little while, but like now he's a regular, and it's just like
he belongs.
And it's just like, and like when he does come in, like after he's like, oh, like total football, it works, and I think I know number 4, and it was like, what a fucking dork, and he's like, yeah, but he's our dork, and I was just like, yeah, that's all it was right there. But another thing from that episode, which I was trying to get out, is like they're talking about the stuff or whatever. It's like because they're on this huge losing streak and all this other stuff, and they're in there with all the coaches and. Like they're saying stuff and they're like, oh, like when me and Beard were gonna be in this band, and he was like, and Roy just goes like, you guys would be called sharply dressed men. I hate what you've done to me. and then a couple minutes go by and he says another one. He's like, it won't fucking stop. I was like, yo, Roy Kent is gold this season, bro. Gold.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, I'm all for it. All for it.
The rise of Jamie Tart.
Go ahead.
In this season, bro. I feel like I've done a lot of talking. That's why
I'm not big on Jamie Tart.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like where it's going, but I still feel like they haven't gotten, and it's going to be enjoyable when they do. I see the development, but they really haven't gotten to the point of of Jamie understanding Jamie, or it actually being said. You know what I mean? Like he's going through these growth moments, like. I think him shooting a shot at Keely again and not happening gave him the realization that he needs to move on from there. He's trying to grow as that favorite team member and being a leader. From what I'm gathering is he's learning from the jerk that he was and the relationship he has with Roy Kent, and he's trying to become what Roy Kent was at the end of his career by skipping all the stuff that was negative and getting right to that point sooner than Roy got there, so he can be that for the team. And it's dope because we know it's going to have an episode where it's just probably all about Jamie, and it hasn't happened yet, and that will be enjoyable. But right now, I think he's kind of just coasting as we're watching his growth till he gets to that point where he has this big evolvement. Everybody's just like, man, look at Jamie.
I think it's the complete opposite, because I think if anything, this season has shown that Jamie has put the work in. Is because that's been the whole thing, is getting up with Roy. Doing all this stuff, listening more, taking his turn speaking, thinking more. He's thinking more about the team stuff, because when they got Zava, which was a very weird couple episodes, by the way, the whole Zava thing.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to have no filler like that.
Yeah, it was really weird. He was very. He was just it's when you're trying to learn anything, right? Where he's going too far one way, where it was just I know I'm being a prick. So instead of doing that, I'm going to be so far in the background that I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
And it wasn't until the total football episode where he's like, first of all, I'm not doing it wrong. You guys are doing it wrong. Then he's like, hold on, stop that. We're doing it wrong. He goes, you guys need to stop coming to me and play through me. And then it is the culmination of all that. And it's also total football stuff comes around, and it's we have to do this new conditioning. He's already been putting it. He's been putting the work in, and it's they see that he's putting the work in. He's putting the work in to build relationships. He's putting the work in to do all these things. He's even put in the work with Keely in reconciling their relationship. Where it's I think early on he did try to put a feeler out there, but it's now he's at a point where he just completely respects her, and he apologized to her about because they hacked his phone to get her nudes out there.
I feel like
stuff like that.
I feel like you're saying that it's different, but I feel like we're on the same base.
But like what you were
Same
saying,
base.
you were saying is like he was skipping steps, and to me it's like it's the
No,
opposite, right?
well,
Like
I
he's
don't-
doing all of the steps.
But I don't mean like skipping steps in a bad way. I feel like he's just removing the time that was not productive.
That was season 2.
Huh?
That was season 2, like when he went on the other team and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, but now that he's back with the team, like even at one point when Roy was just like really not in it and really not getting it, and then eventually he became this player, and now he's being that tutor for Jamie. Like Jamie's learning from that and saying like, all right, I don't have to have another jerk phase or like feel like I have to communicate this way. So instead of having that moment to get to this great moment, I'm just gonna cut out the nonsense and get right to it. Not maybe I used the wrong verbiage of saying skipping steps, but more just like avoiding the unproductive steps.
Yeah, because like I think that's what mentorship is supposed to be like,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Like the way it's supposed to work is like we don't have to do that, but what ends up happening, the reality of it is like you do usually have to go through those lumps, or like as we know, being in this education game is like everybody learns differently. And it's like some people do learn by failure, some people learn by this, but it's like I think his tremendous respect for Roy has allowed him to do this stuff, because like Roy's also not one to mince words or even like say too many words. So it's like the stuff that he does say like has to matter.
Yeah, and you bring up Amsterdam.
That was a huge episode for him.
Taught Roy how to ride a bike.
Taught him how to ride a bike.
Yeah,
Brought him to we're gonna go to that windmill.
Right, and it's like it's metaphoric because it's like you're teaching me how to ride this bike of life because you're teaching me how to be a better teammate, a better young man.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about when Roy went into those trees. He was like,
He's like, turn. He's like, I can't. But it's like he's returning the favor. It's like you're teaching me how to do something in life that I didn't have a father figure to teach me, or I didn't know how to figure out on my own, and I'm learning that through you. And through your tough life, you missed out on something. So I'm gonna show you something. I'm trying to give back in a way where I could say thank you without actually saying thank you. So it's pretty dope. You don't miss.
And then could I also just say how much I thoroughly enjoyed the Uncle's Day scene.
Uncle's Day. Oh yeah.
Uncle's Day.
Yeah, with the shirt.
Yeah, but then it's also like, first of all, his sister is fit. Like, I was just like, I was like, yeah, like
it was very random though.
But I was like,
never
why we
met her before, right?
Turns out we actually have. She's actually, because of the reason why he has the niece so much is because she's always so busy. Why is she so busy? Because she's a nurse, and she was actually been a nurse in a couple episodes that we've seen before, but we just didn't know that was Roy's sister. But now we put a name to the face. But she's like, oh, I had to invite your best friend. You talk about him all the time, and you guys spend all your time together.
Right.
And then he goes, no, it's not my best friend. Who's your best friend? He's like, Isaac. He's like, Fall. And then he gives him like the best gift, the Roy Cunt jersey. He's like, yeah.
He's like, I had them change this
The E to a U.
Yeah, there you go.
So Roy Cunt. He's like, I love it.
I love it. Yeah, man. If you're not watching Ted Lasso, I don't know what you're doing with your TV time, man.
The best show on television.
Yes.
I have been thinking about doing Joel's favorite TV shows of all time list.
Oof.
And like I know it's a very, very tough show to get to, because there's also like shows that like
do top 5 or top 10?
It might be bigger than that. Like it might literally be like a top 50 type thing.
Oof.
But it's like and like the key of it is like my favorite shows. Like they don't have to be the best shows. So like for instance, I loved Lost when it was out. Like when Lost was out, like I was so it, and I know that, and it had bad seasons and stuff like that. But when it was out, like it was almost like Game of Thrones. Like you remember, like when Game of Thrones, like every time the season would end, people were just like going on and they were trying to figure out what everything means and where are we going. That's what I was doing with Lost.
Listen,
and that was the first show I ever felt like about that.
I felt like that about The Walking Dead, and then it got terrible, and I was just like, I can't do this no more. It's repetitive. It's like,
I will say this: Walking Dead was never one of my favorite shows. It was must see TV, so I always watched it. But it was never like, oh my god, I was a Walking Dead head.
Yeah, I think I was in it up until like the Negan stuff.
Yeah,
Like there was after Negan, it was a hard fall off.
They hit a point like midway with the Negan stuff, but then you said that brother was part of the squad. He was Vegeta.
He's definitely part of the squad. Like I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry for Glenn. It's like shut up.
While wearing Power Ranger gear.
Right. Like
because I don't know. Like I don't know if it was because I was reading the Walking Dead comics, so it's like I already had like a thing for it.
Right.
Or whatever. But it was like that was never one of those. But I say all that to say, I think Ted Lasso is going to wind up being very, very high on that list.
Okay.
Possibly top
comments.
5.
Get in the comments. Let us know your favorite TV show.
Look at you. Look at you. You want to sign us out too?
Get in the comments. Let us know your favorite TV show. Hey, it's another episode, Insomnia Hour. You get your boy Joey Crack. Get your man Uncle Raisin. All right, we will see you in a day or two. We're going to have sports. We're going to have movies. We got some music to talk about finally. We got heavyweight lovers coming back. I know.
Oh, you got a lover segment?
I know y'all been asking about the heavyweight lovers. The heavyweight lovers is coming back.
I haven't heard a single person ask about that.
Haters. Of course, we got the home cooking. We got some people that we need to shout out. So we want to make sure that we keep people's brands growing. We supporting the city, making sure that we showing that love because y'all showing that love to us. So, hang out with your boys, man. We got you.
All right. We'll try to not make it so far along this time. We had a lot of stuff going on,
Hey, listen, man. Life is life. If you don't understand that, then what do you understand?
Such is life.
Ooh. Holla at your boys.